This is the final exam overview. So let's get started. Question 1 is from chapter 15. So here I ask you to discuss how race and gender played a role in the early treatment of women in correctional institutions. So make sure that you talk both about race and gender. Don't just lump them together. Talk about each one separately. Explain liberal feminism and social feminism, also called the moralists, and discuss how these concepts influenced the treatment of female offenders. So both of these views, liberal feminism and social feminism, were influential in changing how women in correctional facilities were treated. So make sure that you explain what each of them are, and then make certain that you explain how they influenced the treatment of female offenders. Finally, explain at least 2 factors likely to lead to the abuse of female inmates and provide at least one way each of these factors might be prevented. Question 2 is from chapter 16. Choose 2 of the 4 groups discussed in chapter 16 and explain the treatment of each group. So remember, there are 4 in the chapter. Just choose 2 of them and explain how historically each of these groups were treated. Don't lump them together, discuss them separately. Discuss how drug laws impact the numbers of Black and brown persons incarcerated. Okay, so there's some research that is cited in the text about the idea that drug laws have impacted the numbers of particularly people of color who are Black and brown being incarcerated. Discuss whether you think more people of color working in corrections makes inmates of color more comfortable with correctional officers. There's not a whole lot in the textbook that says that this is true, but I want you to just draw on your own conclusions, your own ideas. And consider, for example, that for some people of color, the fact that they are stopped by a law enforcement officer who is of color doesn't necessarily make them feel more comfortable. It doesn't necessarily make them trust that law enforcement officer any more than they would a white officer. So is that the same or different here, do you think? Do you believe that a person of color working in corrections has a more or less challenging job of earning the trust and respect of inmates? Provide at least one reason for your conclusion. Okay, so again, there's not a lot of evidence one way or the other. I'm just asking, what do you think? Think it would be more challenging, less challenging? What do you think? And then finally, question 3 is from chapter 18. I forgot to write that down, but I'll put it, chapter 18. Choose 2 of the 4 amendments discussed in the chapter and explain one case for each amendment that impacted the rights of inmates. Okay, so there's the 1st, the 4th, the 8th, and the 14th that are discussed. And so let's say you choose the 4th and the 8th. Make sure that you then choose one of the cases decided that was relevant to the 4th Amendment and explain it and the rationale of the court and the rationale of the case for the 14th Amendment you chose. After you do that, then discuss whether you agree with each decision and provide at least one reason for your opinion. Okay, so again, going back to the 4th and the 14th that you choose, explain whether you agree with that court's 4th Amendment decision, whether you agree with the 14th Amendment decision, okay, and why. Provide at least one reason. Finally, explain the reasoning for the civil commitment of sex offenders and the criticisms of this practice. Do you support this practice? Provide at least one reason for your opinion. That is it Again, as long as you study and you at least make an outline, I am sure that you will do well.